A very warm welcome to the Nancy Stevens Arts and Style Show, where you can expect to be entertained, amused, and excited by my amazing guests, anyone who's anyone in the arts and style world. And a very warm welcome to the Isolation interview with Kev Orkian, one of the UK's finest entertainers even, and an internationally acclaimed award-winning comedy pianist, singer, actor, comedian, and Britain's Got Talent semi-finalist. Is there anything you can't do, Kev?
Well, I'm still trying to find out, if I have to be honest, because since lockdown, I've turned into a Michelin star chef, and I've become a bigger entrepreneur than I ever thought I would be, and an investor. I don't know, maybe tap dancing. Let's see how that goes.
Don't you think the weird thing, obviously we're doing an isolation interview in Zoom, and apologies for the size of my hair, because I haven't seen a hairdresser.
You look great. You look great. You look great.
But just these things that you just take for granted in real life, is like seeing your hairdresser, or I don't know.
I've got a hat on, love.
Yeah.
Under here is a raft of hair that has just grown. I don't think I've grown my hair this long since I was in my 20s.
Well, I look like something from the 80s now, but you've got to go with it. And I think you're right. I think it's brought out, if you're an enterprising kind of person, which you are. It's brought out the side of you that you're doing it for you to do stuff you never normally had time to do, I'm guessing.
No, that's right. Well, one of the things it's done, this lockdown, it's given me time to slow down, because I'm quite a manic person.
And surprised me.
And I tend to move very, very quickly. I don't have time to waste in an average day, which is why I usually get up most mornings at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'll do a bit of meditating. And then I'll do a bit of meditating, and then I'll take the dog for a walk, which will take about half an hour of my time. And then when I'm come back, breakfast. And then now that I'm in lockdown, my entire kind of persona changes. You have to, because unfortunately sadly, my wife had a massive accident about 5 weeks ago, and she broke her ankle, which was quite a thing to happen anyway. But it was during our barbecue. We were outside. The sun was hot. We were having a barbecue, and she just stepped outside, missed the step, boom, broke her ankle, and her ankle was in the wrong position. So I had to. I literally, instinct just kicked in. I turned the ankle.
Oh my God!
Turned the foot back. Just hearing everything cracking inside, crumbling and whatever. It was horrible. But I turned the foot back. That obviously made her go grey. And then she went into a faint, kind of whatever it was. Paramedics were here by 15 minutes. They just came along, and we all teamed up as a family and helped her, took her to hospital. And lo and behold, she'd broken her ankle in 3 places. And they had to obviously operate on her. And the doctor said, "Who turned your ankle around? Which paramedic?" And she said, "It was my husband." And he said, "Well, he saved your life." He said, "Because if he hadn't done that," he said, "we would have had to amputate your foot."
Oh, are you serious?
Serious. So
this is horrendous.
When you don't train for anything like this, right? And then instinct kicks in, with all due respect, and I'm not just saying this, hand on my heart, a voice just said, "Do it."
Yeah.
A really calm voice just went, "Do it. It'll be fine."
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So obviously she's a big fat boot now and is not massively mobile, and you're looking after the twins and juggling and doing all those things.
Well, yeah, she's wheelchair bound. So because the left ankle broke, the right foot took all the pressure. So she's ripped all the ligaments in her right foot. So she's wheelchair bound at the moment. So there's me getting up in the morning. I do what I do anyway every morning. Yes. And then the twins, they come down, the 6-year-old twins come down. Then I've got basically, from then until 10 o'clock, it's breakfast, it's sorting out the family, it's organising everything they do. Then it's homeschooling. So then I do homeschooling from 9 o'clock till about 10:30. I do all their maths, English, reading, science, whatever they do. So I get all that out of the way. And then after 10:30, it's then making sure the wife's okay. Then tidying up the house, making sure everything's, spick and span as much as it can be. And then I've got a little bit of time to do some Zoom calls and some meetings before lunch. And then I do all the lunch. And then again, I try and take the kids to the park. And then while they're at the park, I'm there on the phone doing some more Zoom calls and whatnot. And then straight after that, it's dinner. So I do their dinner. And then it's organising a bit of camping. We call it camping. It's downstairs watching television, but we do that. And then we watch like a movie. They feel like they've had their moment with Daddy and Daddy.
Oh, bless.
And then bedtime at 7:30 with telling stories about my life as a kid, which inspires them. And then they go to bed and their quick prayer, please God make Mum's leg better. And then they go to sleep. And it's downstairs, make sure the wife's okay. And then I'm back to basically working till
doing your thing,
10,
yeah.
30, 11, yeah, back to me again, yeah.
Oh, Kev, heavens above! I'm so sorry. So not a relaxing.
Listen, you know when they say when you get married in sickness and in health, boom. I think that's the promise I made, so I'm sticking to it.
She owes you then, doesn't she? All those years of, to be fair, like she supported you all these years of you touring.
No,
and doing
she's a great wife. She's a great wife, and her blessings are the fact that she's allowed me through her, her constant kind of go and do it, allowed me to be able to travel the world and entertain everywhere that I've been. I've practically been around the planet 4 times, so it's the opportunities of being able to do that. And sometimes I'm away for a long time, Nancy. I'm away for 4 to 6 weeks in Australia, or 3 weeks in South Africa, or 4 weeks in America. So it's tough. It's tough on her as well.
And a performer's wife, it's but it sounds like you've got a really solid marriage and your boys are gorgeous, and so.
Yeah, I mean, I love my family. So, at the moment, she's going through a tough time. So I have to step up and I've got to do everything I can and try and keep her positive as well. Because obviously with everything she's going through, she gets frustrated. She gets upset, So I'm just like, don't worry, everything will be fine. We'll move on. We'll do everything and it'll be back to normal soon.
And the meditating's obviously helped.
For me, this is a really deep subject, Nancy, and you're opening Pandora's box here, lovey. But
that's fine. We can talk about anything.
But meditating is something I haven't done much of, but I have a kind of a method in me that I picture what I want to achieve in life, and I completely focus on that again and again and again and again and again, and I've always done that. However, after studying a few doctors and reading their books and whatnot, I've realized that part of my fault was that the average human being can lose between 6 to 10 seconds per minute. Sorry, not seconds, 6 to 10 other thoughts per minute when they're trying to focus on the one thing they want to achieve. So if I was to focus on, wanting to play a piece of music, and I wanted to play it, within that first minute of me thinking about that, I would have another 6 or 10 thoughts about something else, whether I need to put the cooking on or whether I need to.
Of course,
So you're always affecting your focus. And the problem with that is it's as simple as, and this is the analogy I always use, is step out the front door and you're going to head to the shops. But if you go the same analogy as walking as you do thinking, you'll never get to the shops because you're constantly going to change direction. So the idea of meditating is me completely and utterly focusing on an aspect and really, really concentrating on it hard. And my God, it works. And I say that with all due respect to anyone out there who has tried it and it's never achieved. For me, it works. And it works because I put everything in my mind, my soul, my focus, my heart. I put everything into it. And I did it. And I just tested it again because I've always been meditating for a while. But I did it the other day. I had an hour to myself, and the full hour I meditated nothing but what I wanted to achieve and how I wanted to get there. And 2 hours later, and this is God's honest truth, 2 hours later, one of the things I was meditating on was how I was going to develop my business to become greater and bigger. And what I wanted to do was achieve an opportunity of getting my company into a few venues and growing the comedy that we do in England. And 2 hours later, after meditating for an hour, 2 hours later, I got a phone call saying, we've got 4 venues and we'd like you to develop a comedy club in those venues. Would it be possible? And I just thought,
the universe is given.
And I hadn't even thought about how quick
that's amazing. Oh my God.
It's weird, isn't it?
Goosebumps. That's so inspirational. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have had to look within, and you know, I've done a lot of yoga and
Yoga's
thinking,
good.
and yeah, and all that, and I feel like I've come out of this a much better person, a deeper, hopefully less self-centered, and yeah, I think if you've come out of it and you've improved as a person and you've gained another skill, then it's not been a complete waste of time. So
yeah, great.
yes. So let's talk about your amazing career. I mean, phenomenal. I love chatting to you anyway. And you know, you've been in the West End. You've starred in Fame, Me and My Girl, Grease, Buddy Holly, Happy Days, Boogie Nights. You were a semi-finalist on Britain's Got Talent with and I watched the clip again earlier, and it just makes me howl with laughter, which is just as well because your company is called Howling Entertainment. But you know, your Elton John scratchy CD clip was just brilliant, and I've seen it a million times, and every time I watch it, I just cry laughing. I mean, that was obviously, you were well known before then, but obviously Britain's Got Talent is this massive platform, and I don't want to bang on about it because I know you decided to take your own direction. But just tell us a little bit about how that felt and where did it take you after that?
Well, when I first joined the Britain's Got Talent, the idea behind it was that I would, you know, oh, actually, by the way, just to give you the heads up, Nancy, the footage and my voice are they're not in sync. Yeah.
No.
Do I need to log out and log back in again for that to happen? I mean, how would we do that with Paul?
I don't know. Let me just think.
Yeah, see, it's literally a couple of seconds behind.
Yeah, I know, that's weird. I am not sure. Paul, do we need to stop and start again because we're out of sync?
Oh, wait, hold on a minute.
Are you in? We're in
No,
sync.
It's come back.
We're in sync.
Right, okay,
we're in sync. Yay, okay.
So basically, talking about Britain's Got Talent, I joined the show simply because they asked me to. And they said, look, come on the show, do this, do that, and whatever. So I came on, and it was a great opportunity for me to get my act out there. It was a great opportunity for me to kind of share my talents with the world, which I did, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But there was more to it than that for me. There was a contract they gave me, which I didn't like. So I decided that I would not go ahead with the show. And for me, that was the best decision I could have ever made. And I moved on, and I'd already been a professional entertainer for some time at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
So for me, just kind of, you know, taking on board what I'd done there. I'm quite an entrepreneur when it comes to.
You really are.
for kind of advocating my own talents, as well as liaising with great people in the industry. And I nurture other talent as well. I love talent. I love it. So if I can see an act that I think is worthwhile investing my time and effort into, I will do that. So that's what happened, you see. I just went on the road. I went to South Africa, as you know, to America, to Australia, and predominantly most of Europe and United Arab Emirates. And I just kept touring, and my act kept being invited back and again and again. So I just went, and I kept, you know, developing the act. I kept developing the routines. And it's just been that for the last, you know, 27 years I've been in the business, but predominantly as a stand-up comedian, about 13 years. So that's really all I've been as a comedian. So it's been a great opportunity for me, Nancy. You know, I've been blessed.
But you are so talented. I love, you know, I speak to so many entertainers and performers, and they say they're so blessed. But you are so talented. I mean, you're a trained concert pianist, and I think there can be a misconception that you're just the funny guy, you know, but you're not. You've got this myriad of talents that you have, and what you do is so unique as well. And I think that's your USP, is that you're an extraordinary pianist. And I mean, and you know, a boy from Armenia. You know, you've done so well, and obviously you did your documentary in 2017, Armenia Uncovered and stuff. So you know, you've kind of put Armenia on the map as well, and obviously that was a little bit part of, you know, your act when you went to the BGT as well.
to be fair, I'm not going to take the credit for putting Armenia on the map. Kim Kardashian did that, but
well, yeah,
but
you helped.
yeah, no, true. But you know, for me, the whole concept of Armenia Uncovered was to basically show the world how beautiful my country is, and that's what we did. And I believe within days now, you'll see it on Amazon Prime. It's going to be coming out, the documentary.
Oh, I look forward to that.
Yeah, so there's that's that, and then we're now prepping 2 new documentaries for Armenia Uncovered 2 and 3, and one of them is climbing Mount Ararat in Armenia. So there's some big preparations for next year. So so yeah, I was very blessed to have done that, and I was very lucky. But again, when I put my mind to something, I just do it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. It's a beautiful little country though, isn't it? I mean, it's, you know, it's such diversity and such amazing scenery as well. I mean, when I watched some of your clips, I was like, wow, you know, it's like this well-kept tourist secret, isn't it?
Do you know what? Yeah, it has been. And Armenia is one of those places where you go and you just see things you probably wouldn't have ever seen anywhere else. I mean, the fact that I went into a cave that was 6,000 plus years old, and you know, to get to see some of the history there, and the oldest shoe in the world and the oldest winery in the world, you kind of go, wow, you know. So yeah, it was a blessing to go there and do what I did, and to show the world, you know.
And all the other things you've done, obviously you said about performing in South Africa, and you got a ridiculous amount of standing ovations, and Archbishop Desmond Tutu was there, and you literally have performed in front of royalty, and you know, you perform well in front of royalty, you know, most of the royal family, you know, Desmond Tutu, and you've obviously appeared with people like Catherine Jenkins, Lionel Richie, Priscilla Presley. I mean, has there been anybody that you've shared a stage with and thought, oh my God, is this actually happening? Like, pinch me. Are you still kind of the boy from Armenia, wide-eyed, and oh my goodness, is this really happening to me?
Do you know what? Yes, there has been one. I've worked with everyone, and I'm very blessed to have done that. There's a lot of people that I still love to work with, but I've worked with a lot of great human beings, a lot of great entertainers. But one of the ones that was an oh my God moment for me was the Australian comic and character actor, Mrs. Dame Edna Everage. And for me, that was probably one of the craziest moments of my life, because I was doing pantomime, and basically Barry Humphries, aka Dame Edna Everage, Barry Humphries only did one pantomime, and that was the one he did with me.
Wow.
And he was uber
really
amazing.
Oh, that's so lovely to hear.
He was uber amazing. And for the first 4 or 5 days, we were rehearsing, and he was reading the script, and he's like, hello, boys and girls. It's so lovely to be here. I love the fact that I'm doing this right now, and all that. And he was like that. And obviously he's got his just a suit on and a shirt and whatever, and very regal. And then we were just in the midst of doing a scene where he makes his first entrance, and we all looked around. We were like, where is it? Where is he? Where's Barry gone? And suddenly the doors flung open, and he went, hello, possums. And I'm not joking. I screamed like a 7-year-old girl.
Oh, love it. Love it.
He was insane. We did 82 shows together at the Wimbledon Theatre, and he had a different word for when he watched one of my scenes, which he adored. There was a scene that he adored watching every night. He never missed it once. Oh. And every time I came off, I'd walk past him and he'd go, amazing. Following night, excellent. Following day. I mean, I can only come up with 2. I mean, it was just divine, you know, sensational. I mean, every time a different word. And I was like,
lovely.
Oh, I love you, mate. So I missed him sincerely when he didn't come back to do another panto. I truly missed him. I thought he was just one of the best people I've ever worked with.
Oh, that's so lovely. And talking about panto, I know panto's in your DNA, and you are my favourite panto guy. I mean, you know, I miss it when you don't come to Milton Keynes. And I know the theatre industry, you know, the theatres went dark at the beginning of lockdown, a really sad time for performers. what do you think at this stage is going to happen for the industry now?
I don't think industry is going to come back until March 2021. And the reason I say that is because I know.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know. Now, I know because of certain people in the industry who have mentioned that most theatres will not open until 2021.
No Panto?
No Panto this year, no. At the moment, unless Boris Johnson lifts the 1 metre rule, so we go back to so we don't go back to any kind of social distancing, then I can see there's a future for pantomime. Otherwise, it's going to be a very difficult aspect for pantomime to bring audiences in, particularly if you've got old people and young children coming in and sharing an experience. But don't forget, this also, people forget, it's not just the audience we have to worry about, it's also the cast.
Of course, yeah.
So in every aspect, we have to take into consideration, the cast members, mingling together and working together. It's a crazy time. So unless changes are made before, I would have thought if any changes are made before August, then there's a potential of pantomime going ahead, certainly to a certain capacity, but otherwise, no.
Oh, heartbreaking, isn't it? Absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, and most theatres will go with that as well. I mean, a lot of people have lost a lot of work this year through theatres, through the backstage crew, through the, the actors, the performers, the directors, the managers. I mean, everyone's lost work. Everyone's lost work. But I do believe in my heart of hearts that when theatre opens, people will be struggling to get tickets, because I think everyone, what the country forgets is, and certainly government forgets, is that entertainment is what's got us through every horrid thing that's ever happened in our planet. So from having tsunamis,
the world wars,
and the wars, and this and that, we've always celebrated straight after. So I believe that as everything subsides and coronavirus becomes something that we're going to have to live with, because there is no cure, and it will become another aspect of the flu, where we will have to keep our immune systems up to fight the coronavirus, but ideally, not I think people are going to become much more conscious of health because of this.
Yeah, definitely.
But the truth of the matter is, it's here to stay. I don't think there's a cure. I don't think there'll ever be a cure.
No.
So we just have to take care of each other. We have to be more caring and more kind to people.
Yeah, we need to wrap our arms around, ourselves, each other, and the planet. There definitely needs to be, more consideration, and not taking things for granted. I mean, I watched Newsies, which I've never seen before. It was a Broadway 2017 performance on, I think it was Disney Plus, and it made me cry. Not because it was a brilliant show, but it was just watching the actors performing together, the auditorium full, everyone's doing the standing ovations, and then obviously when the credits roll, the thousands of people that are involved in a production. And I just as someone who loves the theatre passionately, and as a reviewer, I mean, I feel like someone's chopped off my arm. But for you as a performer, for people like you as performers, this is your lifeblood. It's just heartbreaking. As you say, it's going to come back. It'll be stronger, be better. But it's So what are your plans? I mean, you've, as I say, again, looking just to highlight the other things you've done, the Dudley Moore thing, Cook and More. I mean, that's just so you. I mean, James Blunt. You've done the British Forces tour with James Blunt, who's the most hilarious person on Twitter. Well,
let me tell you, this is a true story. I'm going back 2000, and it was either 17 or 18. Me, Catherine Jenkins, and James Blunt were booked to go to Afghanistan to entertain the British Forces, and we were flying from Brize Norton in the UK through to I can't remember the Camp Bastion, in Afghanistan. But we were doing a stopover in Cyprus. So the idea was we were flying from Brize Norton, landing in Cyprus with a 2-hour stopover so they could refuel the aeroplane. And then we were getting back on the aeroplane, flying to Afghanistan. We were then going to do a a flight, helicopter flights around all the camps in Afghanistan, entertain the forces over a period of 2 or 3 days, and then come back home. So we get on a flight at some stupid o'clock in the morning, like 3 o'clock in the morning. And we get on the flight, and there's about 300 soldiers. And then there's the British Forces Foundation, myself, Catherine Jenkins' agent, James Blunt, and his pianist. That's literally it. So we get on, we fly to Cyprus, no issues. We get to Cyprus and we land, we sit down, we have dinner with lunch with the Major General there of the Cyprus location that we landed in. And it was all good. The camp was great. You know, we had a good laugh. And then they said, get back on the plane. So when we got back on the plane, the 300 soldiers had already sat down. Catherine, myself, James, and everyone else got on. And I said, as we got on, I was one of the last people to get on. I said to the pilot who was sitting there, I said, is it all right? I said, if I come in and do the announcements for when we're just about to fly?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, as of course, the character, you know, the Armenian character. Yes. So he said, yeah, absolutely, go for it. Because they don't care, you know. So we reversed onto the onto where we needed to go, and then we were basically going to the runway. And we got to the runway, and I'm there, and he said, well, you can go for it now. I said, okay. So I got on the thing, and I said, hello, this is your pilot speaking. My name is Kim Kardashian. Thank you very much. And I went into my act, right? So then I turned around and said, we are going to be flying at 30,000 feet. This is a wonderful, wonderful occasion for everybody to get high. It's going to be a wonderful opportunity. I said, we're going to fly to Afghanistan, and we're going to have a great time. And I was going into it like this, right? I said, the in-flight entertainment is a wonderful movie called Alive. It's about a plane crash where people get to eat each other because of that. And I went into it. And the soldiers, I mean, of course, there's no restriction. So the soldiers are literally keeled over. Catherine Jenkins is on the floor. Everyone's laughing. So I said, anyway, enjoy the flight. There's no food. Good luck. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. And I did that. As I went back to my seat, I went past James Blunt, and James went, that wasn't funny. That was stupid. And now I feel anxious. And I'm not joking. That made me laugh even more because he was in the army, and he was a pilot. So I'm like, what? So we had a bit of a laugh with him, but we never made it. We never made it to Afghanistan. We attempted it 3 times, and we never made it. Every single time we went, on one occasion, they set a missile towards our aeroplane, so we had to divert. On another occasion, our fuel ran out, so we had to come back. And on the 3rd occasion, we were actually in the air, and the undercarriage to the aeroplane, the wheels, would not come back up again. So we had to send soldiers down there to wind the wheels back up and then wind the wheels back down again. And then we had to land back in Cyprus. So on all 3 occasions, we never made it to Afghanistan.
Oh my God, but they had a laugh because you were so funny.
I thought they had a laugh. Definitely had a laugh. We had a laugh. What are you about? But yeah, it was great fun.
Oh, Kev, you're just such a tonic to talk to. You need to record something that if someone's feeling miserable, you just say your thing, or we need to Google you on YouTube. So obviously you had a big tour plan, 2020 tour. Yeah. What happens next, and how do we find out about what you're up to in terms of social media?
Right. Well, what happens next is everything's beginning to mirror itself for 2021. So back in March and April, most of the work that I had this year basically went on to next year. So okay. I've got a mirror image of this year's bookings next year. So Australia next year, which I'm flying out to, and I'm doing the pantomime there. I'm also doing an American tour next year between March and May. So that's in the pipeline. I've also got loads of corporate bookings and other bits and bobs in the pipeline that are all going to be put together. Plus the documentary, which we were planning on doing this year, is going to be next year. So Armenian Uncovered 2. So there's a lot of things that are in the pipeline. This year, I'm planting some incredible seeds, shall I say, with a number of businesses that I own. And we're going to be launching some incredible products and some incredible opportunities for not just comedians, but audiences to come and enjoy good quality entertainment. So there's a lot in the pipeline, and there's some very, very big, exciting projects, which obviously I can't talk about right now, but but the idea is that they develop and they become something predominant for the likes of everyone, including yourself, who might want to come and review the shows and the performances that we do.
Thank you, Kim. Well, an absolute joy as always. I wish you well. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on the Isolation interview, the Nancy Stevens Arts and Style Show. I'm passionate about all things arts and style. Catch us on all major platforms and YouTube, Nancy Stevens Arts and Style Show.